Uh-oh. It appears I've let the fire go out. Oh no. Whatever shall I do? I guess I'll start it a different way this time. This is the infamous birch bark. Some people tell you that this stuff will light even when it's wet. I tell you that that's not true, because it does get wet. Canoes were made out of birch bark in the days of old. Canoes were paddled during the day, and then they were brought ashore and they were turned upside down. That's a practice that people still do today, and they don't know why. Because a fiberglass or an aluminum canoe doesn't leak. But a birch bark canoe did leak, and it did absorb water. So after paddling it all day, they were brought ashore, their cargo was unloaded, and they were turned upside down so they could dry overnight. That was the most efficacious way to dry them, because they were wet. You don't need to do that today, but people still do it, simply because it's a tradition. They don't know why, but they still do it. It's not necessary, but it's a tradition. Now, that birch bark, since it's dry, should be frayed enough. You can't start with too small a tinder. The smaller the better, because smaller things burn more easily. That's a truism. So the smaller, the more finely frayed you can make your birch bark tinder, or any tinder, the more likely you are to get it to light. That should be good enough. Now, this is a strike force. This is the only flint and steel tinder, manufactured flint and steel tinder, that I'll bet on. It's the only one that I'll endorse. Not because I like the company, because I don't. I think it's being manned by a bunch of egotistical buttheads these days. However, I've been using this thing for over 20 years, and it has never failed to light a fire, even though it appears that I'm having a little trouble today. There's a wind. There we go. Took a few strikes. Not the fault of the tool, the fault of the user. I've been using the thing, like I said, for over 20 years, and it has never failed to light a fire. If I could not start that birch bark on fire like that, there is a chemical tinder cube in the butt of the tool that will light easily and light anytime, no matter how wet. It'll light on the water. There was one of the old advertising tricks that they used to use was to show the burning tinder cube lighted and on the water, and it would burn until it was gone while it floated on the water. So that was the strike force, and I just restarted my fire. So that was pretty easy. Incidentally, that is the strike force and its cousins, the blast match, and the smaller sparky fire starting tool. Those are the only tools I've ever used that actually work, and I wouldn't endorse them because I like the company, because I don't. But I do like the tools, and they have probably saved my life a few times. So